It's that time again. Yes, Wembley, here we come. Second visit of the season. A lot has happened since that first visit. Everything was on a high, obviously. League Cup, first trophy in 6 years. It's been good, it's been bad, it's been inconsistent since then. And I think the end of the season and the amount of games that we've played has actually finally caught up with us. This is your road trip, people. If you didn't already know, I am just about setting off to Wembley now. So, looking forward to the game? Yes. Do I have a little bit of apprehension and worry about my thoughts on the game and how I see it going after what I witnessed on Thursday night? Yes, I do, big time. But I don't want to repeat myself again, but I'm going to quickly and try and move on. The bounce back from every time we have a bad game is usually really good. And I think that's what we might get here today. I do. I think Brighton on paper, I probably think, looking at it, are playing the better football, and simply because of Manchester United's name is the only reason why we are favourites. I think they are playing miles better. I think they're in a better shape than us in terms of systems and cohesiveness and how they play and everyone knowing exactly what they're doing. Are chopping and changing completely all the time in every single department, whether it be the front line because of Martial's injuries, and obviously Vegar's coming in playing a different way, Sancho's inconsistency, Anthony's injury as well. Then the midfield, obviously Casemiro has been injured, been suspended for over a quarter of the season now, in and out. Sabitzer, then Bruno was missing the other day. It's just, and then let's not even get into the defence, because when that changes, everything goes tits up, it would seem, especially on Thursday night. There's no excuse, and I said what I said after the game on Thursday. It's done and dusted now. The better team won. The team that handled the occasion and looked like they'd been used to that occasion won the day, and United can go away licking the wounds, but get over it very quickly, because today it could all happen again if you're not up for it against Brighton. It's as simple as that. Everyone knows, and everyone's waiting today to see what Manchester United do. We know what Brighton are bringing. Everyone, neutral-wise, is watching this game with anticipation to see what happens with Manchester United now. How many times can we recover in a season? How many times is it going to take before we actually start to hit a slump and let it start affecting us? Because, I mean, I was there, obviously, on Thursday, and I've seen them players walking out. Maguire and De Gea both walked out together, out of the changing room. It was like a dual blame sort of thing. This is it. We are both walking out together. Everyone's taking the pictures and the cameras are all over them. We basically cost our team the game. Yeah, but we can't just blame individual players. Mistakes cost goals. It's your application after them goals go in and how you handle it. Can you handle it? Can you handle a 50,000-seater stadium, which is absolutely bouncing and banging from the get-go, being in a United shirt and everyone taking the mick out of you because they're beating one of the biggest names in world football on their own patch with ease? How do you recover from that? How do you adapt? Can you be that Man United player, the one that says, right, I got that wrong, we played bad, and there's no excuse for how poor we were, I'm going to go and put it right now? Well, Harry Maguire doesn't get the opportunity today because he isn't playing. Bruno will come back as captain as well, and I think will give us that energy that we need. A rested Bruno is always a good thing. Bruno having a week off is very good for Manchester United. Obviously, it cost us in the week, and I would have preferred him to be in the team, but the whole debate, I mean, I can think of 2 games where Bruno wasn't playing. Aston Villa away and Sevilla last night. Now you tell me, what did we create with Bruno out the side in them 2 games? Now you can just leave the Bruno debate aside. Bruno is key. Bruno is our winner today for me, because we win when Bruno plays. It's as simple as that. When he doesn't play, I can only think of them 2 games, and they've only been through suspension. And them 2 games alone, we've been diabolical. We've had no creativity, no drive, no energy, and no leadership. Now, Bruno Fernandes in the team is one thing. Bruno Fernandes in the team as captain is a different ballgame altogether. And that alone should give this team a boost today, because he isn't going to stop running. He isn't going to stop giving everything. When the chips are down, yeah, he may throw his toys out the pram because he's a winner. He wants to win things. God, will you give me 11 Bruno Fernandeses and we will win everything. It's as simple as that. He's a born winner. Why do you think he's mopsing around and moody when he loses? Because he can't stand it. It should be it should be bare minimum. That's how you are as a Manchester United player. You don't go and accept it. You don't go back out and say, yeah, we go again, and then put in another poor performance. You keep your levels that high. If it doesn't work that day, you should be angry because your team hasn't backed you up and hasn't been as at it as you was. That's it. Yes, he has mistakes in his game and he has flaws, and it's not always bang on in terms of what you would think is the best attitude, especially around his team. His petulance gets on people's nerves. He's giving the ball away gets on people's nerves. But as a man on this channel once said, it's no coincidence, is it? No, it's not, Ricky. It's no coincidence that when Bruno's out of the team, we are diabolical on every occasion this season. It's not. There lies the problem with this team. Relying on other players. Take responsibility for your own performance. Play the same way that you've been playing with everyone else in the team, even the better players, and start thinking like a United player. It doesn't matter who's playing. You're wearing that shirt and you're expected to win. It's as simple as that. We are favourites because of this. That's what we're favourites for today. It's not on form, and it's not through how we've played through the course of the season. We're favourites today because United are going to Wembley and it's our occasion. It's what we're used to. And I'm not being arrogant there at all in saying because it's Wembley, it's United, that we should be beating Brighton. I fear Brighton today. I really do. I think this is going to be a very, very tough game. As tough as it was on Thursday. And I would not be surprised if I'm walking out of Wembley thinking we've only got 8 games to go and they're all league games this season because we're out of the FA Cup. I would not be surprised one bit. And I can probably say, hand on heart, that Brighton probably deserved it as well because I know how they play. I've watched and I've been to the last, how many games? I've been to every single game we've played against Brighton, apart from the ones in lockdown. And to be honest, they've dicked us every single time. They've been absolutely outstanding and they're a joy to watch. I love the way they play football. De Zerbi has just carried on where Potter finished, and they're a credit to their academy, to their philosophy, their recruitment, everything about that football club and how they run. And I remember talking to Brighton fans last season outside of their stadium when they beat us 4-0. They were just laughing. They couldn't believe how poor United were and how easy it was for them. But they were acceptance of all their big players leaving. This is just how that club runs. They thought, right, so we've got this up. They weren't talking about players who were leaving and moaning about it. They were talking about, we've got this other kid coming through. Thoughts of Ferguson coming through. They know how their club runs. They are accepting of that and they're happy with that. And that, to me, just, you go into a club like that and you look at a club like that and then the expectation is what it is. You know you're going to lose good players, but you know you're going to play a certain way. Everyone is going to come in that has been recruited and play that exact same way because the recruitment is down to a T. It's perfect. And you have to admire how that football club is run. You really do. It's brilliant. And I'm not blowing smoke up their ass at all. I'm not. I'm saying United are going to win today. I'm going to say 2-1 to United. I do think that the occasion is the reason why we will get this game. After the mess that was Thursday night, I think United need to turn up with the world all watching today. I think they need to turn up, and I think big players will come to the fore. How will we win this game? I do believe with Rashford fully fit, Bruno back in the team, both players match fitness-wise, ready to go, rested. Casemiro, that midfield is where we win this game today for me. Defensively, it is a big worry. It is a very big worry. Because I know what Brighton bring and I know the dangers they've got. But Luke Shaw will probably have to play at centre-back. I can't see him dropping Casemiro or putting McTominay in there. He's going to go on such a big occasion with a player that's played there recently as well. Lindelof and Shaw is a combination we've not seen all season. So there's a worry straight away. Would you keep Dalot at left-back? Would you bring Malacia in? Does Dalot go to right-back? Does Wan-Bissaka miss out? Honestly, I'm looking at I'd probably prefer to have Wan-Bissaka in the team today simply because of his defensive abilities, because we do have to be aware. I mean, look at the qualities that this team have got. I mean, I don't need to run through the names. I mean, Itoma, I'm pretty certain that Ferguson is out. I know he got a bad injury in the Chelsea game a couple of weeks ago. I'm not 100% how bad it was. I've not looked up on that, but it did look bad. And a concern. Obviously, Danny Welbeck, Ricky's mate, could he come back to haunt us today? Even when they got rid of Trossard, they knew they weren't going to have a problem. That's going back to what I said. It's just a well-run club with dangers all over it, a cohesive midfield, brilliant forward line that knows exactly what they're doing. And for me, United have to be at it, completely at it from the get-go. I can see goals. I can see it being any sort of scoreline. Will United's tiredness kick in at the end and be a problem? I don't know. I think adrenaline should take over sooner or later. But today is a massive, massive day. And City are waiting the final. Big, 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 big day in June if that comes about. But yeah, I have to look at it, and I'm trying to stay positive after Thursday night. It's difficult because we were absolutely battered. There's no excuse. There was no poor decisions. We were just beaten by a better team, and that sometimes is hard to take. But that sometimes is where you might get a better reaction from it. I mean, Newcastle was one, then Sevilla was another. We've had a few recently, and they've been quite close together, and that gap is closing between these poor performances. They're becoming a little bit more frequent, and you can say it's with certain players in the team, and if not, but collectively as a team right now, United need to stop this. Otherwise, that's it. We're looking at trying to fight for top 4 and 1 trophy instead of looking at a treble that we was before. One has gone on Thursday. We've got to make sure that we do not let the FA Cup go as well. We need to be in that final against City. You can look at that game and go, you're probably on form. City are going to batter us, and that's going to be hard to take. But we're United. We don't think one game ahead and who the opposition is. We have to think like we are already going to be in that final and play that way, because that's how you're going to have to play, like winners, to beat this Brighton team. Guys, let me know what you think. It's Wembley Day. Come on, United. Get your comments in below. Let me know what you think. Your team selection, your score prediction. Are you there? Will you see me there? I'll be outside afterwards talking to everybody. Hopefully, we're talking about booking another trip to Wembley. More money for the Glazers, I know, but still, I'd rather see my team winning. Here we go. Let's do this, people. Wembley bound!